Hey guys, welcome back here to my channel and to another Diorama Showcase Challenge video, this time showcasing the month of August. We had this flying coaster which was designed by Dan Amberley over on Discord. This was a really tricky map. The coaster is on the diagonal, there was lots of narrow sections where the track was very close, and it also had these big open spaces either side. So it was a great map, it made everyone get creative, and I can't wait to show you the entries. The entries are really great. Yet again this month, you know, you guys came through. Just want to say it again, don't be disheartened by any comments that might be made. I mean it all with the greatest intention. I absolutely appreciate every single one of you that takes part and takes the time to actually build something and send it in to me. And this isn't about winning, it's just about taking part, being in the community of Parkitect and just improving your building skills. So I have been chatting to Dan Amberley, who designed this map, and we have discussed between us the top 3 entries, and also a big thanks to Mr. Unit for filming these videos. So without further ado, in no particular order, let's get into it. So first up here we have the Desert Mirage. This is obviously an Arabian themed map, and what I love about these types of themes is you can see straight away what it is, and you can see from the sandy colours and those lovely onion domes on the roofs that this is an Arabian theme. Love the colours that you've gone for. That turquoise light bluey colour against those sands and golds with the kind of bright green foliage works really well. I also like the layout of your map. Your path flow is really nice. I can see that you really thought about it while you were building this. For me, the buildings are all kind of very similar. I'd like to see a little bit of variation or more variation throughout the rest of those buildings, and also with the kind of roofs. I feel like there's always the same kind of gold. Some different shades of gold or something would have made it have a little bit more dynamic to it. But yeah, it's really cool. I think some custom supports as well would have been great to have seen on this one, as you did go through the trouble of, you know, filling up this whole map with detail. I think just to give it that extra little notch of detail would have been some cool little supports or something on that coaster. But a great job, well done. I really appreciate everything that you've done here with this one. I'm just going to give you a little look now at nighttime as well, so you can see how that looks. So we've got some nice warm kind of colours. Really good that you use those flame torches throughout the map there as well. Gives it this nice little glow. But yeah, cool map. Thanks for sending it in to me. Next up here we have Transylvania Town, and this map has 2 kind of castles either side of a river, and the side that I'm showing you now is actually my favourite side. I really like this kind of building that you built here. I think some of the details on this side are a little bit stronger than the other side. The other side has this more kind of beigey and this orangey roof coloured castle. Really cool building. I just think it lacks a little bit of detail and it's very blocky looking, but I can really appreciate the work that's gone into that. The river there going through the middle as well is always really cool. I really like it when maps actually use water to kind of break up that big land space, so this was a really great use of doing that. The coaster of course does lack some sort of custom supports as well, so it's just lacking that little bit of detail on those supports. Some like Transylvania style supports would have been really cool, some like iron girders, or I don't know, some weird shaped back pieces, something like Robo Flamingo's done before in the past. But it's a cool map. I really like the composition of it, having the 2 different sides and the river through the middle. I think that's really nice, and you did a great job, and I really like it, so well done. I'm just going to show you now a little bit at nighttime here as well. You did a great job. I really like the map that you did. It did lack a little bit of detail in some areas, but overall it was a solid build. And once again, I really appreciate you taking the time to actually do it and send it in to me, so thank you. So next up here we have a map called Hidden, and this is a cool little map. The support work on this one is absolutely crazy. I love it. It's just wild. There's support work everywhere, and I can so appreciate the time and the effort that's gone into doing these supports. And they're actually like 2-tone supports, so it's like stripy. So that's really cool. I love the colours as well. The orange track works really well. So yeah, really cool buildings and compositions going on here. Some cool path work as well going around the edge. I love that you made the focus there on that round piece in the middle, which I think actually was a really good thing to do with this layout, because that was kind of like a real weenie for this coaster, having that huge circle bit on the back, and I like how you used that as a focus point as well. Station's a really nice building, and you've got the coaster kind of dipping in and out of these different levels. I think the observation tower as well fits really nicely in where you put it. And good job as well on the foliage. I think the foliage has been done quite nicely. And lots of nice different shades in there. Nothing too crazy that sticks out like a sore thumb. And all the different pieces of foliage that you use really go nicely together. I'm just going to show you now at nighttime. I do feel like this one had a bit of a tropical feel, so maybe the water could have been a slightly different color rather than the kind of standard in-game blue. But yes, nice lighting going on here, nice lit up path areas, etc. Yeah, a good solid build, so thank you. Next up here we have Terror in the Skies, which is a Jurassic Park themed map. I can only imagine that this was inspired by the flying dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan. I like what you did. I do think the trees are a bit random, having them all the same style and the same colour, so maybe next time try freeing it up a little bit with different shades of green and a couple different other styles of tree. But I really appreciate you trying to use some foliage this time. Definitely a step up from the last time that you sent me an entry as well. So keep playing, keep building, keep taking part, and yeah, thank you for sending this one in to me. Next up here we have Hacksaw Ridge by HEYITSTREVOR. This for me was totally a contender for a top 3 spot. I absolutely loved it. Great solid build. I love the theming. I also love the support work that you did using the iron girders as supports rather than just your standard kind of support beams. That was really nice. And also there is like a corner with a crane that's holding up the track, which I really like as well. Again, using these kind of original and new ways to kind of support the track, which I really like. The station building as well is really nice as well, and I like how you have all the different kind of, I mean, this track was really difficult to build with because it kind of went over and under the station, so you accommodated that really well. A really good map. I love the back corner with the rock face as well, that's really cool, and the bottom corner there with the crane and that little kind of industrial area. Everything fits really nicely together, and also again you made that kind of big helix on the back on the coaster there, the kind of focus point, and having the paths go around that, so that was really cool to see. Now let's just take a little look at nighttime. You've asked me to help you with your lighting, and I think Robo Flamingo is probably the guy to go to, but your lighting is really cool. I think maybe you could add a little bit more of like other colors, like some reds and purples are really nice, especially on those key features on the coaster, like the pretzel loop, that kind of thing. But the lighting that you've done here is pretty solid as well. I really like it, so a great job, well done. Next up here we have Avatar Flight. This is one of 2 Avatar builds this month. This one is cool. I like the way that you've done those kind of the vines and everything to hold up the rock, and actually I think your positioning of your rocks on this one is quite good. You've left some spaces where you can kind of see through the floating rocks to see everything. I do find the launch tower to be a bit of a random flat ride for this one. I don't think it really fits into the theme at all, and also the kind of buildings that you did don't really fit the Avatar style, but that's maybe just my opinion. But of course we have had some Avatar builds in the past, so I can only kind of compare it to those. Let's take a little 360 look now so you can see the whole thing. Like I said, you did the rock positioning really nice, so you can really see through some of those areas. You can see the paths underneath, and the coaster isn't completely hidden by those rocks there. But yeah, a really good effort. I think you can definitely see that this is Avatar. You've got the rocks of Pandora going on there, and great job. Let's take a look now at nighttime. I think some more lighting would have been nice at nighttime, especially to capture the kind of feel of Avatar in the dark. You have all these creatures and things and these nice bright colors, which is missing here, but a good attempt at doing Avatar. Next up here we have Cathedral of the Lost. This is by ANGRYCHICKENS. The actual cathedral itself in this build is really stunning. It's an amazing build. The architecture is just really beautiful. We have a really cool, like, this key on the floor as well. I love when people do like floor patterns and markings and stuff. It looks really cool. We have a really good attempt here at some custom supports. I know this maybe was your first time, but honestly, like, from here onwards, they just get better, and the more you do it, the better they're going to get, and they're already a good start here. So I really appreciate you taking the time to actually give that a go. The foliage as well at the back of the map, I'm really glad that you darkened it, because I know in the beginning it was a bit lighter. I think darkening those colors, having those really dark autumn colors really fit in nicely with these wonderful kind of architectured buildings that you've built here. Again, that cathedral there on the corner is really pretty, and it's a really stunning build. It's a really great map. I do feel like the back, you kind of wasn't sure what to do, and so you just filled it in with some foliage, because I do that as well sometimes, you know, I'm also guilty of doing that. But it's a really nice build, and actually, do you know what, it's got some really lovely details in it, some really nice buildings, path layout is great as well, and yeah, I really appreciate, again, you taking the time to do some custom supports, and it's a great build. Let's have a little look now at nighttime so you can see how that looks. So it's quite a dark one at night time. I think the back forest area could have had some nice lighting hidden in the trees, etc., lighting up some of that track. But the main kind of path areas have been lit, of course, which is always important. And it's a great solid build. Really appreciate it. And again, that cathedral is mwah, chef's kiss. So next up here is the other Pandora Avatar style map, World of Pandora by NANANANABATMAN. And yeah, another one that used a launch drop tower, but I'm glad that you changed the color of it in this one. Again, I still think it's a random flat ride for a Pandora theme, but I'm glad that you changed the color of it. I do actually prefer the foliage in this one to the other one. I think it's got that more kind of droopy and more hangy look to it, but I did prefer the vines and the actual rock layout of the other one. But I do prefer the colours in yours. It's got that more dark kind of, like I said, that's got that droopy feel, and it's got more of darker foliage. It's not just bright green. And also we have some of those lovely waterfalls in there that Pandora has as well. The waterfalls would have been cool as well if you'd used the water jet and some splash effects to make it look a bit more kind of like, you know, random organic falling water. But you've given this theme a really, really good go, and I think it's paid off. You know, you can see straight away, again, that this is Pandora. We've got this really cool floating rocks and the really great foliage work here. So a really well done to you. Let's take a look now at nighttime. So not much lighting going on. I'd like to have seen more bright colours and more kind of twinkle kind of lights and stuff to really capture the essence of Avatar and Pandora at nighttime. But a really great map, so thank you for sending that one in to me. Next up here, we have a triple collaboration on a Star Wars map. And I've said it before, the bar for Star Wars in this game has been set very, very high because we've had some Star Wars maps sent in before, one of them actually being a winner. And we've all seen what can be done with Star Wars theming, and it's, you know, this is a great attempt. I don't think it's quite up there with the other Star Wars builds, but it's really good. In there somewhere hidden, we have a Millennium Falcon, which has been made out of shapes and pieces. I was really glad to see that was done that way and it wasn't just a prop that was put down. But we've got some really nice cool interactions going on here. I love the way the 8080 walker there is collapsed and actually making a really cool kind of near-miss interaction with the track. And what's also really cool to see is the trigger effects that have been done, which gives this map some sort of animation to give it that kind of battle atmosphere. So that's really, really cool as well. We've got lasers shooting across and explosions, so that's nice to see. You guys did a great job working together. I'm not saying this is bad at all. I think it's actually really great. I love the custom supports as well, by the way. I just think the other Star Wars maps that I've seen in the past have been a little bit more detailed, but you did a really, really great job, and yeah, you can be proud of yourselves. So great to see an entry here from Cool Coaster Gaming. This map again was another one of my favorites. I absolutely love the color palette of this one. That dark burgundy red path against those golden buildings and that really cool blue track worked really, really well. And also I think the foliage coloring is just perfect. It's not too bright, it's not too dark. So that's really, really nice. I think these buildings are really, really lovely. So much detail in them, and they just, yeah, all together works really, really well. The only thing that me and Dan both said is that this one lacked some sort of supporting on the coaster, and I think having some custom supports on this one would have just kind of put the detail level up a little bit. But the whole composition of the map as well is really beautiful, and the river flowing through it as well has been done really, really nice. I like how you've kind of lined the edge with foliage and rocks, and I've seen some of your other builds before in the past, so I know that you're a really, really great builder, and this one is just an example of your skills. I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely great. Here's a view at nighttime as well. We've got some nice cool warm lighting going on there. I just love the color palette of this one. I think it works so well together, and thanks for taking part. Please do another entry and play again in the future, because I can't wait to see what else you do. Here is Da Vinci's Flying Machines, and this map is also another one of my favorites. Love the support work as well, but this one really captured that essence of a real theme park. You had backstage areas, we had these facades on the buildings, and I just think it was great, and I'd absolutely love to see a full-sized map, like a full theme park from you, using this kind of building style, because I think it's so great. You said to me that this is the first time that you've tried using Freedom 2K, and I think that worked out really, really well for you. The Freedom 2K here has been done that all your buildings are just ever so slightly, you know, off grid, and it gives that real organic, realistic looking theme park vibe. And this type of park is my kind of favorite type of build, having that realistic, real life looking theme park. This really reminds me of the Mediterranean area at PortAventura in Spain. I think you've captured the vibe so nicely here. And I love the river rapids as well at the side. That kind of section of river rapids kind of just poking into this part of the map. It's just really, really brilliant. Let's have a little look now at nighttime as well. We've got some cool lighting here, very standard lighting, you know, some nice path lights going around those main areas where the guests would go, but the path flow is so great. It's a great build, so well done. Next up here we have AEROBASE by DASSEMAKKER, and this is another builder that I just really enjoy looking at what you send in to me. Every single month is a solid build. This one is no exception. I really like it. This one also is giving me a realistic type theme park vibe, having some backstage areas, having those areas a little bit hidden from the guests' kind of sightline. So yeah, I really like it. I think the water in this one is just a bit of a funny color. It looks almost white, but I don't know if that was like a theming decision or not. But we've got some really cool buildings here, especially the one on the bottom right hand corner is one that makes me giggle a little bit. You know why. But yeah, some really cool buildings here, and I like the colors that you've used in this one as well. I think the dark kind of rich teal color with the golden supports work really, really well together. And I also like the launch drop tower that you've put in as well. That's a nice spot to put it in with that kind of moon on top. And of course, we've got some really, really fantastic custom supports on this one. The support work on this coaster is really perfect. It's very realistic, very believable. So I can really appreciate that you did that, because, you know, I'm a sucker for a custom support me. Let's have a little look now at nighttime. So we've got some nice kind of general lighting going on here. We've got lit up pathways, and the coaster is also lit up in some nice areas, and it's making some nice cozy corners. So a great build, really, really love it. So thank you. Next up here, we have an entry from a phenomenal builder. This is Studio CAVY's The Vanished Kingdom. I absolutely love it. The color palette is fantastic. The green supports with that kind of purpley red track work really well together, especially against all the stone walls and stone pathing that you've done. The buildings in this one as well are really beautiful. They've been really well put together, and they all tie together in very nicely, but every single building is ever so slightly different to make it interesting to look at. So that's really, really nice. Something that Studio CAVY always does is different levels. He has like paths up and down and bridges, and it just creates this really interesting map to look at, having all these different levels in there. And it's something that I've noticed in a lot of your builds, but this one is a really good example of that. Really, really great. Really love it. Great use of foliage as well. The foliage is not too much, but not too less. It's just in the right places. And I think it's just a really nice flow as well to it. Again, highlighting the pretzel loop there with a nice bridge going through it, which I think is a nice thing as well. That was one of the key moments of the coaster, as well as that kind of curve on the back. And here's a nice little look here at nighttime. So we've got some nice general lighting going on. There's nice warm colors there, lighting up the main kind of guest path areas, etc. So yeah, absolute solid build. I don't think it's quite as good as some of the other ones I've seen from you, but it's still a fantastic build. So now we're getting into the top 3, and in at 3rd place is The Serpent by Eddie. This is a great map. Again, another really great color palette. I love that kind of that dark red and brown roofs going on, especially against the rock and the greens that you've used in the foliage, with the track also being like a shade of green. I think it works really nicely together. The serpent there going around the station building is really, really cool. Me and Dan discussed the top 3 together, and we gave each other kind of pros and cons for each one, and we just thought this one was just a really pretty map with some great architecture, especially this tower in the corner that you can see there as well. It's been made really, really nicely. The supports on this one aren't quite as good as some of the other maps, but it's got a really great flow, and there's some great building details and styles used in this one. Again, another map that had nice changes in terrain height, which is also really cool to see. It makes it really interesting to look at. The cliff edges as well are really, really nice. We have a great tunnel there used on the pretzel loop that's been executed very well. The whole thing was very nice. I love the building style. I think the buildings and the details on them are just really, really clean and really, really nice. Here's a nice little 360 view for you there to get a look, so you can see how that map is looking. Again, we've got a nice little river going through there as well, which I think is always nice to break up a map a little bit with a little bit of a waterfall. It's a very pretty map. It's going to show you now as well at nighttime, so you can kind of see how that looks. So the nighttime lighting is very pretty as well. Again, just some general lighting in the main path areas, but we've got some nice glowy greens and blues there in amongst the trees and against the track as well, which is very nice. So that's really, really great to see. A really good solid map. Congratulations getting 3rd place, and I can't wait to see more builds from you as well in the future. So please keep playing and sending them in to us. So in its 2nd place, we have ASTROTRON's Obsidian Valley, and this is such an original theme and such an original idea. Me and Dan both really liked it, and this one I want to give the award for the best custom supports because I just think they were so good. Like these wooden beams and the way the bottom of the supports were like catching fire from the lava. Looks fantastic. These are the kind of details that I absolutely love to see, and I've mentioned it before in the past that doing custom supports doesn't mean just doing steel beams. You could really tie it into your theme, and this is like the perfect example of doing that. The supports match the theme 100%. Obviously this is a fantasy build and the fantasy supports work so well. I also like the little details you did on the top of them with like the steel panel with the little bolts. That was really cool. All the buildings in this one as well are really nice. I love the contrast between the lava and the snow. It's a really great idea. And yeah, like I said, the buildings are really nice. It looks great at night time, especially because the lava is glowing and moving a little bit, you know. Yeah, I suggest you go and download this one yourself as well on Steam and just have a little look around for it for yourself and look at all those little details, all the little buildings and stuff, because it's really nice. And ASTROTRON is somebody that, you know, I look up to as a builder as well, always doing these genius new ways of doing things and using pieces in ways that you wouldn't normally use them, and it's so inspiring. And his builds are always solid and there's never anything wrong with any of them, and they're always really original as well. You have such fantastic ideas, and this one is just another perfect example of like a really great executed theme within the game, and it's such a pleasure to look at and to see your work. And this is just brilliant. I absolutely love it. So taking that 1st place spot this month is How to Train Your Dragon by Mr. Unit 64 and Jod23, Mr. Game of Thrones himself. This map is spectacular. You can see that Freedom 2K is probably, I say probably, it has been very heavily used. Just by the way the whole thing looks. This map is very organic looking, nothing is gridded, and everything looks to be very natural looking, and I absolutely love that about it. The buildings are just spectacular. The detail on them is fantastic. I love the way the roofs have been done, all these different panels and stuff with different shades of colors. It looks great. The rock work as well is really amazing. I love the way it's been done with the grassy patches and everything. It's just not what you would normally see in Parkitect, and that's what I love about it. I love being made to wonder how something's been done or what piece has been used. The support work on this one as well is really good. It's been done again using, you know, you don't have to use steel beams. It's been done using wooden beams of rope, and I think it just makes this, adds to the theme, you know, it makes it really detailed. I absolutely love that about it. I love these rocks that are coming out of the water that look like wizards or something. That's really cool as well. In the bottom corner there is like a little section of another coaster, and I would love to know what coaster that would have actually been if this was a larger map, because I love to be left wondering. The rocks look amazing, the way it's been done and poking up, I absolutely love it, and all the colours work well together, especially with that dark water. The underwater foliage is really great as well, and I absolutely love the boat ride that you've intertwined into the rest of the map, going through the rocks. We've got some nice dark ride areas, we've got this section that's inside the rocks as well, that the boats pass through, which is really nice. And all the little dragons as well that have been built and they're placed in certain areas on the map are really cool. They've been really well done. Toothless is there, if you're familiar with the film, of course. Toothless is sitting up on the rock there, shooting those blue flames out at the coaster as it passes. So it's really cool. I love it as well. I love the nighttime lighting that has been done as well. I'm guessing Jod did the lighting. I'm not sure who did what, but that's just my guess. So a really fantastic job there on the lighting, and just a really fantastic job in general or the entire build. So a massive congratulations. For me and Dan, this map was the clear winner, although some of the other maps that were entered this month could have easily won as well had this have been a different month. But yeah, everyone, a massive congratulations. You all did such a great job. it was really hard picking a top 3 because there are so many good entries, and I say the same thing every single month, but you know, everyone's building skills are improving every month, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to pick the top 3 and stuff. But you know, this is why we do it, to improve our building skills, and I definitely learn stuff from you guys as well. So this is my map. This is Air 2.0. And yeah, this was basically based on Air from Alton Towers, which is now known as Galactica. If you haven't seen the little series already, I did a 4-part build on my channel here, so you can watch how I did it. But this one, I definitely explored Freedom 2K a little bit more. Used that to do some of these buildings, but I definitely wanted to play around with the rock style. I was definitely inspired by some of you guys, some of your builds on doing different kind of rocks and foliage. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I think this might be one of my better maps that I've done in the last year and a half or so. I'm really proud of it, and I actually think it's kind of cool. So I hope you like it as well. It's going to give you a little 360 view, and of course a little shot at night time, so you can kind of see how I did that. So I stuck to kind of blue, kind of futuristic looking lighting. I did some like turquoisey lighting as well on the coaster track, and just kind of left those path areas lit up with some little white lights and some neon lights as well. So nothing too crazy in there, but I definitely used that kind of curved helix section on it when the coaster's on its back as like a main focus point as well, which some of you did. So now let's get into the challenge for September 2021. This is a map designed by Mr. Unit himself, and this is a dueling powered coaster which was based on Max and Moritz from Efteling in the Netherlands. So this is the map. There is a link down below to Steam, so you can download this map, and also the submission form. Once you've finished building, please submit it to the submission form, and that way we know that we've got it and we can include it in next month's video. The rules are the same as always. You cannot change the layout of these coasters, you can't move the depot or the park entrance, but you are welcome to move the rides entrance and exit, and of course you can do whatever theme you like, and you are welcome this month to use mods. Next month we're going to do a vanilla only month, but this month you can still use all the mods you wish. Freedom 2K, Construction Anarchy, and every mod under the sun. There's like 200 or something on Steam now. It's getting crazy. But yeah, have fun, and thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching, and for you guys that built a map and sent it in to me. And I'll see you all next time here on my channel for another episode. Bye.